Bro, the internet is losing its mind right now because King Harris didn't just disrespect 50 Cent. He walked into the most dangerous hip-hop beef of this decade and lit himself on fire. All on camera. And the craziest part? He didn't just clap back. He didn't just defend his mom. He didn't just talk tough. King Harris went straight for the one thing 50 Cent has never forgiven anybody for touching: his dead mother. The same woman whose murder shaped 50's entire life. And the same pain he has carried his whole career. The same story he never jokes about. And King went on video and said, "Post her grave, nay." Bro, the internet stopped breathing. People weren't angry. They were shocked. Silent. Terrified. Because everybody knows one rule in hip-hop. You never come for 50 Cent's mother. Never. But King? King did it with a smile. Like he wanted war. Like he didn't understand the man he was provoking. Like he forgot 50 Cent destroys people for fun. Until now the whole world is asking, is this the moment King Harris just ruined his father's legacy? Did he poke a man even T.I. is scared to battle? Is this beef about to turn into something T.I. cannot control? Not with money, not with fame, not even with OG respect? Because this isn't just a viral clip. This is a career-altering, life-altering, reputation-ending collision between a reckless son and the pettiest, most strategic, most relentless man hip-hop has ever produced. People aren't asking, what did King do anymore? They're asking, is King Harris about to get himself into a situation no one can pull him out of? Before the world saw King Harris shouting into his phone, before the outrage, before the memes, before 50 Cent's chilling warning, there was a long history behind this explosion. A history of pressure, identity crisis, broken expectations, and a young man desperately trying to prove he's something the world insists he isn't. Because King Harris didn't wake up one morning and decide to attack 50 Cent. This blow-up was years in the making, a slow burn that finally turned into a wildfire. From the moment King Harris was born, he came into a life he didn't choose. Money, fame, cameras, luxury, a famous father, a famous mother, a last name heavy enough to crush a child before he even learns to walk. To the world, the King was the rich kid, the celebrity son, the one with everything, the one who grew up on TY and Tiny, the family hustle, smiling for cameras, wearing designer clothes, surrounded by security, living in a gated community while millions watched. But inside King, there was a war brewing, because no matter how many blessings he had, no matter how many opportunities were given, no matter how many doors opened simply because he was a Harris, King never felt like he earned any of it. He wanted respect, real respect, street respect, man respect, the kind T.I. had to fight for, the kind T.I. nearly went to prison for, the kind T.I. built through blood, sweat, battles, and survival. But King didn't want to inherit respect. He wanted to manufacture it. And that's where everything started going wrong. He wanted to be seen as hood, but he grew up safe. He wanted to be feared, but people laughed. Now, he wanted to stand on business, but everyone knew he didn't understand the business he was standing on. That internal confusion shaped the man he became. Loud online, aggressive in public, quick to argue, quick to fight, quick to threaten, quick to explode over small things, like Waffle House pickles, quick to lash out at his own parents. This wasn't confidence, it was insecurity wearing bravado like armor. And T.I. saw it long before the world did. He wasn't blind. He wasn't careless. He wasn't an absent father. I tried hard to slow King down, redirect him, talk sense into him. But every time T.I. reached out, King drifted further away. See, King didn't want T.I.'s advice. He wanted T.I.'s legacy. But legacy isn't gifted, it's earned. And that is the painful truth King never accepted. Over the years, as King fought to create a street identity, T.I. watched helplessly as his son walked deeper into chaos. The Waffle House incident, threatening employees on live. The homeless man challenge, mocking someone who had nothing. The Falcon's sweet meltdown, screaming at T.I. in front of the world. The arrests, DUIS, suspended license, outstanding warrant. The footage of him almost hitting a police car with a gun on his hip. These weren't accidents, these were patterns. Patterns T.I. recognized because he had lived them and escaped them. I warned King multiple times. If he keeps this up, he's going to prison. That wasn't a father being dramatic. That was a father who has seen the system from the inside. But King didn't care. He wanted to be a lion. He wanted to roar. He wanted to show the world he wasn't a soft celebrity kid. So the moment 50 Cent posted that unflattering picture of Tiny Harris, that was King's chance. This was his moment to prove something. To himself, to the internet, to his father, and to anyone who ever said he wasn't real. I kept it controlled. He responded like a grown man. He didn't escalate. He didn't rant. He didn't risk anything. Because I knows the rules of industry warfare. King doesn't. So King saw the picture of his mother and decided he was going to be the one to confront 50 Cent. A man with a decades-long record of outlasting and humiliating every enemy he's ever had. And King didn't just clap back. He didn't just curse him out. He didn't just defend Tiny. He chose the most dangerous, nuclear, irreversible thing a man can say to 50 Cent. He invoked his mother's grave. Why did he do it? Because King isn't operating from strategy. He's operating from emotion, from impulse, from unhealed insecurity. King wanted to show T.I. he wasn't scared. He wanted to show the world he wasn't soft. He wanted to show 50 Cent he was built like that. But the world saw something else. A desperate young man trying too hard to prove something he doesn't understand. And T.I.? T.I. saw something even worse. A son repeating all the mistakes he once made. But without the wisdom, discipline, or humility that saved T.I. from losing everything. Because here's the truth. T.I.'s legacy wasn't built on being loud. It wasn't built on disrespect. It wasn't built on ego. It was built on survival, skill, on an intelligence, strategy. Qualities King hasn't fully developed yet. So when King fired back at 50, he wasn't fighting like his father. He was fighting like a boy trapped in a man's anger. And that's why the internet is scared? Not because of the beef. Not because of 50's power. Not because of T.I.'s silence. They're scared because they see the pattern. Every year, King's outbursts get bigger. Every year, his consequences get heavier. Every year, the stakes get higher. And now, he stepped into a conflict even T.I. can't protect him from. Because 50 Cent isn't a rapper. He's a strategist, a troll mastermind, a man who once said, "I don't stop until people give up." So now the world isn't watching King's rant. They're watching the consequences creep closer. They're waiting to see if T.I. steps in. They're waiting to see what 50 does next. They're waiting to see if King realizes the hole he's digging. But the biggest question in everyone's mind is simple. Is this the moment King Harris destroys himself? Or is this the moment someone finally stops him before the damage becomes permanent? Because one thing is clear, this story isn't ending anytime soon. It's only beginning to collapse. The video didn't look like a typical celebrity rant. It didn't start with King trying to go viral, didn't start with clout, didn't start with him acting goofy like he does on live sometimes. It started with tension. A heavy, suffocating tension. King Harris stood there breathing hard, eyes burning, lips tight, body pacing like he was trying to keep himself from exploding. Even before he spoke, viewers felt it. This wasn't for entertainment. This wasn't for attention. This was anger raw enough to cut through the screen. And then he snapped. King started screaming about loyalty, about respect, about his parents, about Tiny being disrespected. He kept pacing, furious, shaking, sweating. And then he said it. The one line that turned a heated rant into a death wish. "Post yo mama grave nen a." The internet didn't gasp. It didn't laugh. It didn't get excited. It froze. Because everyone knew instantly, King didn't just cross the line. He disintegrated the line, buried it, spit on it, and walked away laughing. 50 Cent's mother's death isn't a joke. It's not a casual diss, it's the trauma that shaped his entire life. She was murdered when he was 8. He still talks about her in interviews. He built his identity on surviving that loss. He respects that memory more than he respects most people alive. And King touched the one thing nobody touches. Within seconds, comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Oh nah, this boy done signed his life away. 50 gonna ruin him for years. He better come get his son now. You don't bring up dead parents, ever. But King didn't stop. He doubled down, he tripled down. While he repeated the grave comment over and over like he wanted to make sure 50 heard every syllable. This wasn't just disrespect, it was provocation. A full-blown declaration of war. And here's the part that made the internet really uncomfortable. King wasn't angry. He was enjoying it. He smiled, he laughed, he leaned into the camera like he was untouchable. That's when blogs started posting. He doesn't understand the danger he's inviting. This won't end with a diss track. 50 Cent is not someone you taunt. And T.I.? T.I. was watching, helpless. A source very close to the Harris family said, T.I. tried calling him immediately. King ignored every call. Another confirmed, Tip wasn't mad, he was terrified. He said, my son doesn't know who he's messing with. Because T.I. understands something King doesn't. 50 Cent does not lose. Not online. Not in business, not in beef, not in reputation. And more importantly, 50 Cent does not forget disrespect. Ever. But the most chilling moment wasn't King's rant. It was 50's reaction. Because 50 didn't rant back. He didn't clown him. He didn't respond with memes. He stayed silent. The silence was louder than any diss track. Because every hip-hop fan knows the rule. 50 Cent's silence means he's planning something. Blogs went wild. Why isn't 50 responding? He's cooking. This is chess, not checkers. He's letting the boy destroy himself. Then suddenly, in the middle of the chaos, 50 Cent made his first move. But not toward King. He followed him. The internet exploded. He followed King? Oh, he's watching now. This isn't petty. This is predatory. 50 is about to document every mistake. This wasn't beef. This was surveillance. Meanwhile, King, instead of cooling down, went live again. And this time he boasted, I ain't scared of no 50. He a old head. This real life, not no show. The comments dragged him. He thinks 50 acts like power? Someone take his phone. This is why T.I. can't sleep. That boy is playing with a demon. But then came the first major twist. The uncut rumor. A blogger with connections posted, there's a longer version of King's rant. The viral clip isn't even the worst part. People lost their minds. What else did he say? Drop the full video! T.I. better delete his son's phone. The blogger then revealed, someone is trying to sell the uncut version for $25,000. Sell, not leak, not share. Sell. Which meant two things. Someone filmed King without him realizing what it would cost. Someone close to him was ready to profit off his destruction. And our blog started asking, who was recording King? Who told him to say it again? Who had the camera? Now the story was no longer just King versus 50. It was King versus betrayal, but the next twist, more devastating than the video itself. The seller confirmed 50 Cent already bought the uncut footage. BRO. This is where the internet officially panicked. Because if the man you disrespected, the man you insulted, the man you mocked, the man whose mother you brought into the beef, now owns your full meltdown, you're finished. And 50 Cent didn't even have to respond. He just posted a single picture. His mother, standing, strong, proud. Caption, say her name again. The world went silent. Even people who hated 50 understood. This wasn't about music. This wasn't about T.I. This wasn't about Versus. This was personal, and 50 takes personal very seriously. Then, just when people thought the situation couldn't get worse, it did. The second twist dropped. Someone else bought the footage too. Not 50. Not a blogger. Not a random fan. A known figure with a long-standing grudge against T.I.'s camp. Meaning 2 enemies, 2 copies, 2 plans, 2 ticking bombs waiting to explode. T.I. is now cornered. King is clueless. 50 is silent. Blogs are hungry. The footage is real, and the release is coming. And the internet is asking the most terrifying question yet. When the full video drops, will 50 Cent destroy King, or will he destroy T.I.? Because one thing is certain. This isn't the climax. This is the warning shot. The real war hasn't even started. As the internet tore itself apart over King's outburst, something strange started happening behind the scenes. Something even T.I. didn't see coming. Something darker, quieter, and way more calculated than a viral rant. Because while fans were focused on what King said, the real story was what King didn't realize. He wasn't alone in that room. He wasn't the one in control. He wasn't even the one recording the rant. There was someone else there. Someone who never appeared on camera. Someone whose voice you could barely hear hyping him up. Someone who said, "Say it again, bro," right before King mentioned 50's mother. And for days, nobody questioned it. Nobody wondered who that voice belonged to. And nobody asked why King needed encouragement to repeat the most dangerous line of his life. But then a blogger posted, "Y'all paying attention to the wrong man in the video. Watch the shadow." People went back. They slowed the clip down. They looped it. They enhanced the audio. And the internet realized something horrifying. King wasn't the one who pressed record. King wasn't the one who decided to go live. King wasn't the one who shared the video. It was the man behind the camera, and a man nobody recognized. And then suddenly, everybody recognized him. A Twitter thread went viral. "I know who that is. He hangs around ATL videographers. He's been close to people who worked for 50's media team. He's messy. He starts drama for clicks." People started digging, screenshots surfaced, old posts, old connections. This wasn't a friend. This wasn't a random bystander. This was someone who had a history of recording messy moments and flipping them for money. And fans realized the heartbreaking truth. King Harris was set up, on purpose, for profit. Meanwhile, inside the Harris household, chaos erupted. A source close to T.I. said, Tip was pacing the house for hours. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't lecturing. He kept repeating one thing. "They using my son." Because T.I. understands this world deeper than anyone. He lived through the era of haters recording him, flipping stories, selling dirt. T.I. knows the price of fame. But King? King thought he was being tough. He thought he was defending his mother. He thought he was showing the world he wasn't scared. He didn't realize he was being recorded by a snake whose only goal was to create a viral moment so explosive it could be sold to the highest bidder. And then came the next big reveal. 50 Cent wasn't the only one who bought the footage. He was the first. The seller confirmed 50's team bought the raw footage within 12 hours. Bro, this means 50 was waiting with his wallet open. He saw the clip trending and immediately went hunting for the uncut version. He didn't attack. He didn't rant. He didn't troll. He invested. That's not beef, that's business. But the second buyer? That's where everything spiraled into total madness. The seller hinted, "This one ain't from New York. This one ain't from the blogs. This one from ATL." A TL? As in someone from T.I.'s own backyard? Huss fans freaked out. A TL buyer means someone T.I. knows. Somebody in the Atlanta scene wants T.I. embarrassed. Who hates T.I. enough to buy King's downfall? Speculation began. A producer. T.I. fell out with years ago? A rival rapper with old grudges? A former associate who felt T.I. never gave him credit? Someone from the trap music era who always thought T.I. was too polished? Nobody knew. And that mystery made the situation 10 times worse. Because if 50 Cent has the footage, I can prepare for that. He knows 50's playbook. He knows how 50 moves. But if an unknown ATL enemy has the footage, that is a psychological nuke waiting to be dropped. Meanwhile, King had no idea what he'd triggered. He was still online posting. Y'all scared of some old man? I ain't. The comments dragged him. Bro, you not fighting 50? You fighting 50's bank account. He already owns your rant. Ah, dummy. This is the definition of playing with your future. But fans weren't the only ones reacting. Celebrities started chiming in too. Rick Ross posted a cryptic story. A lion don't roar until he's ready to bite. Boozy went live saying, man, y'all gotta tell Lil Bro chill. He ain't outside like that. Charlemagne said on radio, this is the worst move I've ever seen a celebrity kid make. Meanwhile, 50 Cent finally posted again. Not a diss, not a threat, not a joke. Just a photo of a chessboard. King's exact quote in the caption, say it again. The world lost its mind. This ain't trolling anymore. He's planning something. 50 is letting the whole game know he's not done. Ty reportedly went into crisis mode. One insider said, Tip is furious at the man who filmed it. He said he wasn't recording a moment. He was recording evidence. I knows what's coming. A father can sense danger before it hits his family. And then came the shocking reveal. Nobody expected. A second version of the footage exists. A version where King said something even worse that was cut out of the viral clip. The seller admitted they only posted the parts that would go viral. They didn't post the part that would break T.I. Break T.I.? People begged for clues. The seller refused. Next, the internet erupted. What did he say? Did he go at T.I. himself? Did he expose something private? Some people close to the situation leaked whispers. There's a part where King insults his father, and it's bad. If that's true, 50 Cent now holds something deadlier than a diss clip. He holds emotional ammunition. Something T.I. can't fight with bars. Something T.I. can't fix with press statements. Something T.I. can't erase. Because a father can survive a rap beef. But being disrespected by your own son? Caught on camera? Sold to your enemy? That breaks a different part of a man. And the scariest part? I doesn't know when the video will drop. He doesn't know who will drop it. He doesn't know what version will leak. He's trapped. King is spiraling. 50 Cent is silent. And the mystery buyer? He's waiting for blood. This isn't a beef anymore. This is a countdown. And when the full clip drops, I won't just be fighting 50. He'll be fighting his own son's words. By the time the clip hit its second million views, the internet wasn't just reacting anymore. It was exploding. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube. Every platform turned into a full-scale battlefield. People weren't arguing. They were fighting. Not about who was right or wrong. Not about whether King went too far. Not about whether 50 would respond. No. They were fighting about the same terrifying question. Is King Harris about to destroy himself and his father in real time? Because this wasn't one controversy. This wasn't one disrespectful moment. This wasn't one emotional rant. It was a public unraveling. And people couldn't look away. Within hours, hashtags began trending. Hashtag pray for T.I. Hashtag King Harris wilding again. Hashtag 50 Cent responds when. And then came the most viral one. Hashtag release the full video. Millions of people demanding to see the uncut footage. Millions of people expecting 50 to drop it. Millions of people hungry for the exact moment King crossed the line beyond fixing. But the internet wasn't alone. The hip-hop industry? They were shaking their heads in disbelief. Producers, rappers, DJs, bloggers, everyone had a take. Academics went live first, yelling, "Bro, King just risked T.I.'s whole legacy for a 20-minute meltdown." "You don't poke 50. You don't," DJ Drama tweeted. "Some lessons come too late." Fat Joe posted, "Respect the OGs, or the game will teach you." Even Lil Duval couldn't resist. King playing GTA in real life, man. One thing was clear. Nobody was on King's side. Not because they hated him, not because they liked 50, but because they understood the culture. And in hip-hop culture, bringing up a dead parent, especially one who was murdered, is the ultimate violation. Not a bar, not a diss, not a joke. On a violation. Even street dudes who didn't like 50 were saying, "Yeah, nah, the boy went too far." But the reaction that hit the internet the hardest came from someone unexpected. A former G-Unit affiliate posted, "50 ain't responding yet because he's choosing which version to drop first." That comment alone created chaos. People replied, "Which version? You mean there's more? What else did King say? How long is the uncut?" The fear wasn't about what King already said. It was about what he might have said. The idea that a second version existed, a version that could damage T.I., the Harris family, King's reputation, and even future career opportunities, sent everyone into hysteria. Which is exactly when TikTok joined the war. Creators started breaking down King's body language. He's unstable. He was baited. He didn't understand the consequences. Other creators compared his rant to past celebrity meltdowns. Chris Brown never went this far. Kanye didn't even cross this line. Even the game didn't say something this wild. People started making conspiracy theories. What if 50 paid the cameraman? What if this was planned? What if King wasn't supposed to go live and someone forced his hand? Funny aside, edits began circulating. Dramatic music over King's scream. Slow-motion zoom-ins of T.I.'s disappointed face. Clips of 50 Cent smirking from old interviews. T.I.'s past warnings replayed over King's meltdown. TikTok made the situation into a full-blown mini-series. Meanwhile, Instagram blogs were having a field day. The Shade Room posted it 3 times. Hollywood Unlocked brought in body language experts. Vlad TV posted King's old arrest footage again. A No Jumper ran a poll. Should 50 Cent respond? 91% voted yes. But the reaction that changed everything came from someone the internet didn't expect. Tony Yayo. He went live holding a cigar and said, "If 50 moves, it's calculated. He don't beef emotional, he beef strategic." The chat went insane. People realized 50's silence wasn't weakness. It wasn't hesitation. It wasn't fear. It was strategy. The hip-hop world knows one thing about 50 Cent. He doesn't clap back instantly. He claps back effectively. Which is why T.I.'s supporters were begging him to publicly calm the situation down. But T.I. didn't. He stayed silent. That silence created another wave of panic. Fans speculated, T.I. is embarrassed. T.I. is trying to contain damage. T.I. is trying to find the buyer of the second video. T.I. is trying to stop the leak. And then someone close to the family anonymously told a blogger, "Tip cried." That one line broke the internet. T.I., the same man who survived federal charges, the same man who has stood firm in every controversy, the same man who built an empire, had allegedly been brought to tears by one thing, his own son. Comments flooded social media. "That's pain money can't fix." Imagine your child being used to destroy you. T.I. doesn't deserve this. But not everyone sided with T.I. A growing group of fans said T.I. made him spoiled. T.I. let him talk crazy for years. T.I. built this monster. And just like that, the public turned on both King and T.I. The industry wasn't debating anymore. It was judging. Meanwhile, the second buyer of the footage remained anonymous. And that mystery made the internet obsessed. And people started making lists. Who hates T.I. enough to buy the footage? Who wants the Harris family embarrassed? Who gains from this video dropping? Old rivals were dragged into allegations. Former collaborators were interrogated. Atlanta producers were accused. Everyone from Gucci Mane to Jeezy to random promoters was theorized. It became a witch hunt. And through all of this, King remained silent. A silence that scared people even more. Blogs began posting. Is King hiding? Did I take his phone? Is King planning another rant? Nobody knew. But then a small account made a chilling post. The full video drops Friday. The internet erupted. Comments blew up. Who has it? Which version? Is this real? Ty better get lawyers. Because now the public understood this wasn't going away. This wasn't dying down. This wasn't fading. It was escalating. The fear wasn't about King getting dragged. It wasn't about T.I. being embarrassed. It wasn't even about 50 Cent responding. The real fear was, what happens when the world hears the part King didn't want anyone to hear? The part where he said something T.I. can't fix. The part where he crossed a line inside his own family. The part that could fracture the Harris legacy forever. And the worst part? Nobody knew when it would drop, but everybody knew it would. Just when the internet thought things couldn't get any worse. They did. Because while everyone was busy arguing, speculating, and refreshing their feeds for the full video, something was happening quietly behind the scenes. T.I. finally got his hands on the uncut footage. Not through 50, not through the seller, not through lawyers, no. Someone on the inside, someone T.I. trusted, someone terrified of what was coming, secretly sent T.I. a private link. And what T.I. saw in that footage was FAR worse than anything the public had seen, and a source very close to the situation said. When Tip watched the full version, he put his head in his hands and didn't speak for 5 minutes. Not because of the disrespect to 50 Cent, not because of the grave comments, not because of the shouting, but because of something else King said. Something so painful, so personal, so deeply revealing that T.I. reportedly said, "Don't ever let this hit the internet." But here's where it gets worse. Much worse. Because T.I. wasn't the only one who saw that part of the video. 50 Cent saw it too. And so did the second buyer. So what did King say? Sources won't repeat the exact sentence. Nobody wants to say it publicly, but all insiders describe the moment the same way. It wasn't about 50. It wasn't about Tiny. It wasn't about the beef. It was about T.I., and it cut deeper than any diss track ever could. People claim it sounded like years of resentment spilling out. Others say it was King trying to prove he wasn't living in his father's shadow. Some say it revealed something personal about their relationship. T.I. never wanted public. Whatever it was enough to break T.I. Because this wasn't a rapper versus rapper war anymore. It was father versus son. A father who spent his life building a legacy, only to watch his child carelessly hand ammunition to his enemies. But the twist doesn't stop there. Hours after T.I. saw the video, and he received a message from a private number. You can't stop what's coming. Another source revealed, Tip believes the second buyer isn't just an ATL hater. He's someone T.I. cut off years ago. Someone who knows the family. Someone who knows their weaknesses. Someone who hated T.I. enough to buy the one video that could emotionally and publicly destroy him. And that is the darkest twist. T.I. knows exactly who the mystery buyer is, but he can't expose him without making the situation even worse. Meanwhile, King is still refusing to apologize. Still refusing to backtrack. Still refusing to understand the storm he's created. One insider said, Tip told King, "You ain't fighting 50, you fighting me." Because T.I. knows 50's psychology, he knows 50 isn't interested in clapping back at a 21-year-old. 50 wants to humiliate the father. And King delivered the perfect weapon straight into 50's hands. But the suspense didn't stop there. That same night, 50 Cent posted a single Instagram story, a folder icon labeled Harris Files Do Not Open with a laughing emoji. Bro, the internet melted. The mass... He really got a folder? 50 is about to air everything out. Ty better pray. This is petty on an Olympic level. But people didn't notice the real clue 50 left behind. At the bottom of the screen, blurred out, was another label. Fans zoomed in, sharpened the image, enhanced the screenshot, and the label said, Video 2, King versus blank. The last word was blurred, but it was long, 2 syllables, and people swear it looked like a name, meaning the second buyer, the mystery enemy, might actually appear in the footage. This wasn't just a recording of King melting down. It might have captured a private argument, a revelation, an insult, a confession. And that's what people are terrified of. Because if the uncut footage shows King going off on someone close, someone Atlanta knows, someone powerful, then the Harris family isn't dealing with one enemy. They're dealing with 2. 50 Cent, the public humiliation threat. The mystery ATL buyer, the personal destruction threat. And King, still blind, still stubborn, still online posting. They can't touch me. I'm good. But behind the scenes, I is unraveling. A close friend leaked, I've never seen Tip this scared. Not for himself, for his boy. He said King doesn't know what he started. Because T.I. understands something King doesn't. 50 Cent doesn't drop receipts for drama. He drops them for domination. The ATL buyer doesn't want clout. He wants revenge. And the uncut footage isn't just viral content. It's a loaded gun. And it's pointed directly at the Harris family. Even the final twist of the night came from the same burner account that leaked the Friday rumor. This video going change everything y'all think about King Harris. And everything T.I. been hiding. The internet erupted all over again. What has T.I. been hiding? What does the video show? Is this a family scandal? Why Friday? The entire online world is now sitting at the edge of their seat, waiting for a leak that could destroy careers, reputations, relationships, and a father's heart. Will the tape drop? Who will release it? What did King say about T.I.? Why is the ATL buyer involved? And what is 50 planning? One thing is certain. When the uncut footage hits the internet, T.I. won't be fighting beef. He'll be fighting ghosts. And King Harris, he may learn the hardest lesson of his life. Some mistakes don't go away. Some words can't be taken back. And some enemies wait for you to destroy yourself. How to be continued. If you're still here after everything that just unfolded, then you already understand what the rest of the world is slowly waking up to. This story is not ending. This story is only beginning. Because the uncut footage exists. 2 powerful enemies own it. T.I. has seen it. 50 Cent has it saved. And the mystery ATL buyer? He's sitting in the shadows waiting for the perfect moment to expose everything. The full video hasn't leaked yet, but the countdown has already started. And when it drops, it won't just be another viral moment. It will be the most explosive celebrity fallout of the year, possibly the decade. So before that bomb detonates, I need to hear from you. Right now, a comment below. Do you think King Harris was set up? Or did he destroy himself? Should 50 Cent release the full video with yes or no? Do you think T.I. can protect King, or has the damage already been done? Again, the biggest question of all, who do you think the second ATL buyer is? Don't just watch the drama, be a part of it. Your comments decide the direction. Your theories fuel the fire. Your reactions push this story further. And trust me, you're going to want to be here when part 2 drops. Because the next chapter isn't just bigger, it's darker, it's more personal, it's more dangerous, and it exposes secrets even the blogs are scared to talk about. If you're ready for part 2, hit that like button before you scroll. Subscribe so you don't miss the moment the footage leaks. Turn on notifications because the second A new piece of evidence hits the internet, I'm dropping the full breakdown immediately. We're talking hidden audio. We're talking the part of the video King begged to delete. We're talking the identity of the real buyer. We're talking T.I.'s private reaction. We're talking 50 Cent's next chess move. Like, we're talking everything King didn't want the world to know. And remember, this isn't just beef. This isn't just drama. This is a father and son standing on the edge of a cliff, and the whole world watching to see who falls first. So drop your theories. Drop your predictions. Drop your warnings. Drop your support. Drop your criticism. Because the next update, it's going to shake the culture, and you'll want to say you saw it coming. Part 2 is loading, and it's going to be brutal.